basket rolling into day 127 of the Trump presidency. What I honestly think of is one long reality television experience. And I don't know if this is actually day 127, but these events just keep happening day after day after day. It feels less like government and more like a glorified television show. You know, reality shows don't get greenlit because they're calm, orderly, and subdued. They get produced because viewers, you and I, want drama, confrontation, and back and forth conflict. And Donald Trump knows what that is. For all of his debased behavior and antics, he knows how to keep people's attention, whether he's debating opponents or tweet storming his base. He knows how to command attention. So the trick becomes each and every day. Well, okay, I'll give him this 5 days a week. Something outrageous has to happen. Something completely overboard has to be put on the table as a possibility, whether it's reviving Alcatraz. That's right, ladies and gentlemen, bringing back Alcatraz from a tourist trap to an actual functioning prison again, or getting rid of the penny, whether it's mundane or absurd. Donald Trump finds a way to keep you watching. So enter today's flap. He's now pushing to bring back racist sports mascots. The Washington Commanders and the Cleveland Guardians previously used names that many considered offensive and racist. But now Donald Trump is even threatening to halt the Commanders' new stadium, their new stadium deal in DC, unless they revert back to the old names. Yes, you did hear that right. Now, you would think a president who is so smart and intelligent, a president of what they're telling us is the greatest nation that has ever existed on God's green earth. You would think that president would have bigger fish to fry. But when you are running a movement that is based on nostalgia, make America great again, this makes perfect sense, actually, for Donald Trump and his base to get involved in an issue like bringing back old racist sports mascot. Because for them, great again is not about progress. It is about going back to a time when it was okay to be openly offensive and for many to even celebrate being openly offensive. That's why from the very beginning, that slogan raised alarm bells for me, make America great again. Because I know for a fact, America is still a racist country. So if we are going back, that can only mean we're going back deeper into racism. We are going back deeper into oppression, because I acknowledge things are obviously better. It's better for black people now than it was in the 1950s. It's better than black people now than it was in 1860. But if you want to go back, you are taking me back deeper into something that was not good for me or for my people. You want to go back to what? Separate but equal? You want to go back to an era when interracial marriage was criminalized? You want to go back to a time when black people could not sit at counters, vote, or be viewed as fully human? That's why this mascot fight is absolutely no accident. This is a form of red meat politics. Among white dominant culture, there's this nostalgia for a time when they could just openly say the N-word with impunity and suffer no consequences. You didn't have to worry about somebody knocking you out. You didn't have to worry about social isolation or losing your job. Those were not risks for using hate speech. So now we have people getting onto the internet, hiding behind anonymous profiles on Twitter so they can feel safe again in saying the things that they used to could say but can no longer say. And when the president amplifies it, when he tells sports teams to roll it back to racism, that's not carelessness. That's signaling that it matters to him and to the movement. What's ironic is some of the same players who said those racist names didn't matter may be mocking people who were so sensitive. I don't know why we have to change the name. Why are they so fragile? Why are they so sensitive? And now they're trying to bring back those names. But watch this now. If it doesn't matter, why go back? If Washington Commanders is ridiculous, fine. But if that's how you feel, why mock the change? It matters enough for a threat. You're going to threaten the deal with the transfer of land. And does the word commanders offend you? I could understand if that term was offensive. That term is not offensive. The other term has been labeled as offensive by those who would be offended by it, not by you. You're using it by the others. Speaking of reality TV, this is Trump's comfort zone. He is the first reality TV president. There are academic insights noting how his success echoes the structure of those voyeur-driven shows: emotional high, conflict, attention warfare. We've been warned that audiences get even sugar highs from chaos and eventually lose patience, but until then, the audience keeps watching. And of course, this is not new. You all will remember The Apprentice. He was still executive producing it while trying to run the nation. Reality TV is no show, people. It is and was for Donald Trump election preparation. But let's go back to the stadium. According to multiple outlets, Trump is threatening to scuttle the $3.7 billion revitalization plan for the RFK site unless they go back to the old racist mascot named. Much more valuable, he says, with no recognition that the original is deeply offensive. Now, some Native American and civil rights groups pushed for that change for a long time, and it finally took effect in 2020. And the stadium's transfer of land was already approved. And the team was making plans to build a modern park there by the year 2030. But Trump's spasm here could derail not only a financial deal, but a shift in cultural progress. But I don't have to tell you, because you already know, racism has never not mattered in America. The only time it doesn't matter to racists is when they're winning. If this is about free expression, fine. But this goes deeper than that. This is much deeper than that. This is about power, pride, and a rollback of social accountability. What about what the majority wants? Somebody might ask. What about the majority? If you interview a majority or sports fans, they want it changed back. Well, I'm not following morality by polls. 82% of white evangelicals voted for Donald Trump 3 times. So I already know what's popular, but popular does not equal moral. You want to roll it back? That's not a moral choice. That's a majority rule. And this obsession with mascot names brings to mind for me another bizarre conversation that I have observed and have had with multiple people about the angry reaction some white people have when they see a picture of Black Jesus. He wasn't black, they yell. It doesn't matter what color he was, they say. But of course, by their very objection, it matters to them. Just like it matters to Donald Trump and the Make America Great Again crowd. It matters when the mascot doesn't offend, but changing it did. Representation and offense matter, especially when they're defending privilege. That's when it matters. So here's the takeaway. This is not a random temper tantrum by Donald Trump. It is a calculated move in a reality show presidency. And if your movement is a reactionary and nostalgic movement, just like MAGA is, then you'll pull on symbols that irritate progress and comfort your base. Racism always matters, but especially when the rest of us are trying to move forward.